Hi, I'm Tanya Peterson with the Anxiety-Schmanxiety blog on HealthyPlace.com. Have you noticed that one of the things anxiety does is it translates everything for us? It acts as our interpreter. We see things, we hear things, we interact in the world, but anxiety has this habit of jumping in and intercepting all of those messages that we're taking in. And what it does is it intercepts and then it interprets, it translates all of these happenings in the world into its own little view of it. So as an example, this one probably fits with social anxiety, but all types of anxiety do this translating. But say you have your cell phone and you're going to text somebody. So you send out their little message and there it goes. And hours pass before you get a response. And when you do get a response, it's just a short little thing. And you have no idea what that means. It might not mean anything. You don't know because it's somebody else on the other end of the line. But anxiety jumps in there. It intercepts that text message and it interprets it for you. And it tells you, whoa, this person is mad at you. You did something wrong. You screwed up the relationship. Now there's going to be all sorts of consequences. Things are going to be awkward. Maybe they don't want to be around you anymore. You did something wrong. They don't like you. All that from just a text message that came, hours later, and it was a little bit short, but you don't know why, but anxiety makes up a reason for you. And it does that with everything that you take in from the world around you. So how do we get around that with anxiety continuing to intercept all of our messages and interactions? What do we do about it? Here are 2 tips to get around anxiety when it keeps trying to translate everything for you. One is to acknowledge its translation. Well, okay, the first thought that anxiety told me was, I screwed up, I did something wrong, I'm not worthy of having friends, and I really, really, really made this person mad, and they're all upset at me. Okay, acknowledge it. Well, thanks, anxiety, that's fine, whatever, maybe. But maybe not. So you acknowledge, and then you say, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. I'm going to take my action despite what you're telling me. So instead of texting and asking if they're mad or avoiding them, I'm deciding to just respond to what they're saying. That's it. I'm not going to act on anxiety's translations. And anxiety has this running commentary, and it's going to tell you to do it. It's going to tell you what to do, either to avoid or to ask if you've made the person mad. But just because it's telling you that doesn't mean you have to listen. Again, so acknowledge it, and then take the action you want to take anyway. The second thing to do is to practice mindfulness. With mindfulness, you use all of your senses to pay attention to the tangible things around you, not what anxiety is telling you in your head, but what you actually see and hear and smell and feel and even taste. And this is a powerful way to break that translation because anxiety intercepts those things that you're taking in. You see somebody walking down the street and they don't wave. So anxiety takes over and makes its own little translation and gets you all upset, rightly so. I mean, the anxiety is pretty loud and forceful. But you instead, you bypass that by really, really paying attention to the real world around you. Not anxiety's thoughts and translations about the world, but the actual world. You're seeing somebody walking and you wave and they don't. Well, geez, it looks like they didn't see you. And you go on, and then you pay attention to the trees and the grass and everything else that you see and hear and smell. And you actually listen to people's words, not anxiety's interpretation of their words. And your worries, are they really justified, or is that anxiety interpreting things again? Use your senses, be mindful. of what's really going on around you, and that bypasses anxiety's interpretation. So when anxiety acts as a translator, just acknowledge it, do what you want anyway, and be mindful. Pay attention to what your senses really are telling you. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.